Committee members are Councilor McGrath, Councilor Vacan, Councilor Jenny Rivera, and Councilor Israel Rivera at the moment. And with us in council chambers is also Councilor Ocasio. I'll entertain a motion to take up the first item.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item 1 is the order filed by Jourdain and Vacan, order that the City Council adopt the attached substitute municipal modernization ordinance. I believe we went through that last meeting. We've been just joined with Councilor Bartley as well, or by Councilor Bartley. And right now we should be just looking at maybe legal language, right? If I'm correct, for number 1. And making sure everyone has reviewed it to make sure that the edits that were asked of were established. So I'll open it up for any comments or questions or concerns, if anything, for anyone else on the council. I don't see or hear any comments or concerns. Bartley just arrived, so I'll give you a couple seconds or minutes, my bad, to settle in.
I know what you mean. I got you. Put this stuff away. These files I got open.
I thought I had a straw here to mix it. Tripping out. Whenever you're ready, Councilor Bartley.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate you.
Mhm.
Okay, appreciate it. Okay, well, I went through the whole document, and so I'll just kind of go slowly through the order. Are the pages numbered on this one, Mr. Chair? No, they're not.
No, I don't
Oh, but double side. Good idea, Jeff. Jeff's always thinking. It's a lot of paperwork. Okay. Well, I think the best way then, let me see where it is. Because mine doesn't exactly line up, but it comes pretty close. Oh, yes, okay. So I'm on page 3, and it's, let's see, paragraph D, and then you kind of scroll down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines. If the CAFO fails to provide a certification as aforementioned within 7 days of a request, I wasn't sure what the chair wanted there, but I thought it'd be smart to put in business days. Now, I don't know if the rest of the committee feels that way, but I thought it would be okay to put, because sometimes we go into these little back and forths.
Yeah.
So instead of just doing all these things, let's just do it in one motion, because if you don't like them, then we'll know right away, okay?
Can you just give us the section and the letter?
I did. So it's D. It's,
Yeah, it's section D,
it's responsibilities and duties 2.
and it
and
would
then
be
go down to
1,
D,
2, 3,
which is
4,
what I
5,
think- I believe
6.
it said on page 3.
It starts in the 7th line after municipal services. In D, for section 1.
Then the next one, Mr. Chair, you'll, again, this, just, you jot, would that be okay?
Yep.
You jot them down, that way we don't have 3,000 votes. Okay. Okay, next one is financial, on the same page, financial information paragraph B, and this is another easy one, I hope. It says, the second line says, shall submit to the State Director of Accounts. Now, we use the word director, bing, 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 so I just want to add in parentheses and quotations, director, so that'll refer back to State Director of Accounts. So hopefully that one's easy too.
Yep.
All right, good, all right. All right, so, okay, now I'm gonna go over to page 4. Bless you.
No, thank you.
This is Roman numeral, whoa, sorry, my bad. Roman numeral 4. I'm on the next page, I went to page 4. So it's Roman numeral 4 is kind of at the bottom? Yeah. Okay, Roman numeral 4, and I went over to the next page, and then in paragraph B, now this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines down. It says, the mayor and the school committee shall, within a reasonable time, make a determination that any such info shall be provided to the school department. You know, that's a real lawyer phrase, reasonable time. So I said, within a reasonable time, but my edit is, but no longer than 30 calendar days. Now, I don't know if that's right or wrong, but I want to put that in for your consideration, because if you just say reasonable time, it just kind of hangs out there real loose. And I said, but, you know, you can change it to 30 calendar days or 60 calendar days. I don't really have I'm not married to any of them, but I just put in 30 arbitrarily.
It's reasonable.
So if that's too soon, then, you know, you could say 45 days, because a lot of people go 45 days too.
Could we say 30 days with the possibility of an extension if they weren't ready?
Yeah, you can. 30 days, but extension.
I see where you're getting at. It does make sense to have like an.
Yeah, and I put that in a few spots too. So just kind of leave it in there. You don't have to kill yourself now, but just, because I did the same thing. If you see Roman numeral 5, and you go to paragraph C, and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well, it says 3 lines down, they shall furnish any info other than records requested by the CAPO within a reasonable period of time. I said the same thing there too, but no longer than 30 calendar days. So just put kind of 30, and I'll go, if the committee's okay with defining that, whatever the committee wants to do, I'll vote for it. Whether 45 days or 30 days, but an extension will not be unreasonably withheld. One of those kind of comments, you know, one of those kind of lawyer comments.
Jeff?
Yeah, just wanted to mention, I've got the document that I can screen share, so if you need to make changes in real time, we can do that on screen.
Okay.
All right, so just kind of going down.
If you bring the document up just to make sure.
Oh, okay, well, I'll hang back.
Just so that way makes it easier so where it says the mayor and school committee shall within a reasonable time, but no longer than.
I said, but no longer than 30 calendar days. No, I just put that as a placeholder. I don't care what it is, but I just want to define what reasonable time is.
Everybody's okay with 30 days, or we want to say 45 or 60 days? 30's fine. 30's fine. Linda?
Yeah, you can tweak it. Okay. Well,
30's
They're
fine.
going to know about the requests anyway.
Yeah. So 30's fine for now, Councilor Bartley.
Okay. And then the sentence ends with the word appropriate discipline. Now, because it says, except as otherwise provided by law. Oh, then the next sentence says, any official who intentionally violates the provisions of this article by failing to cooperate with the CAFO may be subject to appropriate discipline. Now, I'm just going to read a sentence I inserted, and I'll read it real slow. The mayor shall have exclusive disciplinary authority hereunder unless otherwise disclosed by the mayor, who may transfer said authority to the CAFO so long as the transfer is in a writing available to the public. Now, what I meant by that, somebody's got to be the disciplinary authority. I would much rather have it be the mayor than some non-elected person.
Can you read that one more time?
So,
She'd like to hear it again, though, but it makes sense what you're saying.
so that's all I'm saying. Now, I think I got a little wordy there. Like, maybe the mayor shall have exclusive disciplinary authority hereunder. Now, you can end it right there as a period. I only put a little extra spit on there because what if the mayor has a conflict? And then it can say, unless the mayor transfers his authority to the CAFO. So the mayor would be the number one guy or gal, and the CAFO would be the backup gal or guy. So that's kind of where I was driving at right there.
And it still allows for the CAFO to have authority if the mayor chooses to.
Yeah, but the mayor has to make the call on that, not, so that's what I was going for there. All right, I'll just move on. I'm gonna skip that next part there, that's just stupid.
Where is that at? Just so that Jeff can know once he makes the edit. 'Cause
It's C, under Roman numeral
5, right?
4.
4. Wait, there is no C.
It's right here.
I'm sorry, did I say?
It's 5.
Roman numeral 4. Oh, I'm sorry, Roman numeral 5,
yeah.
we moved on. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Roman numeral 5,
C.
paragraph C.
For the purpose of the article, the word official, no, not there. It's any official, no. They furnish information request.
For discipline.
Right after the word discipline, the mayor shall have exclusive disciplinary authority hereunder.
You
Then
got-
I want to say unless otherwise,
Oh, right here.
I said unless otherwise disclosed by the mayor, that he or she has a conflict, and he or she may transfer said authority to the CAFO. And I said that transfer should be in a writing. So that's all I said there. So,
Yep.
okay, that's enough of that. All right. Okay, let me just,
So, real quick, Councilor Bartley, these edits, just in case, you'll be able to share these with Jeff, right? Just in case he doesn't
yeah, I got
get them.
it all in yellow.
All right,
highlight.
perfect. Because in case he doesn't have them all, we don't get to them all
I'll
yet.
put it
So.
on yellow highlight, and I got everything right. All right, let's see. Okay, yeah, moving on, okay. The CAFO, now I'm at page, let's see, these aren't numbered, I wish they were. Let me see. 2, 4, page 5, okay. Page 5, okay, says, at the bottom says section 2-292, CAFO, appointment, removal, term, qualification, requirements. I hope this is simple. Right after the word there, the last sentence, that before entering upon the duties of office, the person shall be sworn to faithfully discharge the duties thereof. I just added by the clerk of the city of Holyoke. Just to specify it, 'cause I don't know who this thing, so that's what I said there, by the clerk of the city of Holyoke, so that's all. Okay. Okay, then what I did here, you might get annoyed at it, but you'll see under, we already said what, we already said the chief administrative financial officer is a CAFO. Well, why do we keep writing chief administrative financial officer? So like under D, so it says the chief administrative financial officer, need not be a
Right.
president. I said the CAFO. That's all I said. Now, you don't have to change that if you don't want to, but I just said, why, if you already abbreviated it, why are you spelling it out?
Yeah, if it's been defined already and abbreviated.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
I
makes
said
sense.
that's what I said. All right, so, okay, now, this one right here in E may be a little controversial, but I'm trying to, so E says, 2 sentences, the CAFO may be removed for cause by the mayor subject to the approval of the city council. Such removal shall be approved by two-thirds majority of all members of the city council. Now, I just add the following sentence. It's a little long, so I'll read it slow. Prior to any vote of the council, the CAFO may request to be heard in executive session, and upon request, the president of the city council shall schedule an executive session that shall exclude the mayor. Said executive session shall take place on a date other than one already scheduled for a regular or special council meeting. Now, the reason I was saying that was, first of all, that's state law, that you can do that in executive session. And it's an employee-employer relationship. And the way this kind of hangs out there is that if, the mayor can just move for cause, and then we don't really hear from the capo. We don't give the option to say, now, maybe it's true that the capo can just ask for that without that being explicit in the ordinance, but I thought it'd be better to make it explicit in the ordinance. I don't know the open meeting law that well to say, can the capo just request it from the president of the city council, because I don't know if the president of the city council would be obligated to do that. But this gives this is just the extreme situation, right? This has got to be if all the wheels fell off and the mayor's saying, you're fired, and then you can't fire the person until you go before the city council. Now the city council's got to take a vote without really hearing from the CAFO, and without putting it, and the option should be to have an executive session, because this is a personnel matter, and that's perfectly legal to put it there. So that was just a thought, whatever.
Thank you. I don't disagree with where you're going here. I think for me it's understanding process now. Are we the ones appointing the CAFO, or is the mayor?
Mayor.
The mayor's
Mayor.
appointing
Subject to
with
city council approval.
with our approval.
And then on the flip side, this is terminating the CAFO.
They fire him
Terminates.
subject to our approval.
Subject to our approval.
Right.
But what if the CAFO's, not really psyched about getting fired and wants to go back before, explain the situation? Well, you should be able to do that. And
Yep.
you should have the opportunity to do it in executive session. That's all I'm saying right there.
Would the same opportunity be awarded to not all other department heads, but at least department heads that have this
I didn't
same
go there for all the
status?
department heads, but I don't think
Yeah.
that's unreasonable. But I
Yeah.
went, the CAFO is such a special.
And this is, I don't think this is unreasonable either. Like, I think this makes sense. It's just, I'm thinking about consistency. I don't think, go ahead, Councilor McGrath.
Thank you, Chair. My question was around the rationale behind wanting to specify that it's without the mayor versus wanting it to be an executive session where you're allowed to hear all sides, especially if it's happening before that vote, so that council is getting a full picture from both sides. 'Cause I could see it going both ways.
Well, I hear you there. I would only say the person may not be, the mayor just fired this person, right? So now the person needs to go talk to us. I would think you'd have an opportunity, you could have another executive session. The mayor can always call a special meeting. The mayor has that option no matter what. This case here, we put it in writing to say that the CAFO got canned, or potentially canned. Now the CAFO's can only get canned by the mayor, so now the CAFO wants to explain the situation without the mayor there. I think it'd be very uncomfortable having the mayor in there. The mayor would have another chance to give the position of the mayor to the, now that's why I looked at it. I'm just throwing it out there.
Can I ask another question just around timeline?
Go ahead.
I was imagining that the removal, because in the second line it says shall, my assumption from this document is that effectively that person's not fired until we've voted.
That's right.
And I'm imagining that the executive session would be happening in between. Like
It
the
would.
mayor might
It would.
initiate removal
That's right. It would. That's correct.
and then have the executive session. So I'm wondering if we want to make the timeline clear, that it would happen in between, as like a way of information finding, to
Well, I
then know
did.
how the council wants to
Prior
vote.
to the vote,
I did.
Oh, okay.
I said prior to any vote of the council.
but we don't have.
Yeah.
The CAFO may request to be
sorry.
heard in executive session. So I know you don't, I have it in
Oh,
front of me, you don't have that in
No,
front of you.
it's right.
I didn't catch that
He
part.
actually wrote it in.
Yeah.
It's on the screen right there, Jeff.
Oh, well, Jeff caught me, yeah.
There we go. That's better.
So you don't have my words in front of you. There's no way you can remember
He
all
put,
that.
Jeff put him.
Oh, he did, yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. So
Yeah,
said,
I think I'm just going back and forth on whether it makes sense to hear from both at the same time.
Yeah, well, I just,
Yeah.
you can chew on it. I just want to
Yeah,
throw out my
I'm,
thoughts.
I'm
here, 'cause I got a
definitely
few
not
more.
against the idea of adding in the executive session.
All right, so can I keep going?
Yes.
All right. This one I hope is a little simpler. Selection of CAFO in paragraph A. The mayor shall initiate the selection process by giving notice of intent. I don't think you have to put his, her. Just for smoothing out the English, I said just notice of intent. So I just removed that. So that was all big, no, I don't care. Then we're going into, what's that?
Piece of paper.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Sugar wrapper.
Okay, paragraph, Roman numeral 3. I did the same thing as before. Powers and duties of the CAFO, paragraph A, it's spelled out. There's no need to have it spelled out. You already got CAFO defined. So I just said that. Then I skipped down to the next page at paragraph D. It says, if the CAFO fails to provide the certification in subsection C within 7 days. I wrote the word business in there because we said business earlier. If we agree to it, if we don't agree to it, then we don't agree to it. So that's where that was. I'm going to skip that part there. I'm getting silly. Let me go to paragraph H. What did I write there? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, it says, again, this is just me being too, it said, the Board of Assessors and Treasurer Collector shall be appointed by a majority vote and may be removed for cause by a 2/3 majority of all members of the City Council. That's fine. I just said by majority, shall be appointed by majority vote of the City Council, just to make it, but it says it at the end. You know, it may be repetitive. I don't, doesn't matter. So, all right, let me keep moving down here. Okay, let me keep moving. Okay, I'm gonna skip the whole, because we already took the vote last time about trying to remove but I'm gonna say for the controller, so I don't wanna do that again, but, let me see if I had any more, because I did. Keep going. Oh, yeah, let me go down here to, I numbered my pages on mine, so I'm at page, I skipped all the way down to page 21, but I'm at the section 2-311. So let me, 2-311. This is just for food for thought, that's all. So 2-311, establish qualifications in term of Human Resources Director. And in paragraph C, Human Resources Director shall have a term of 5 years. Now, it seems to me like everybody else having a term of 3 years. I don't know where the 5 years came from. If that's a tradition, then so be it. I didn't change it, I just highlighted it because I didn't know why it was there. So, because everybody else seemed to be doing 3. So, just a thought. I just,
I mean, we could ask, what is it now? Is it 5 or 3 currently?
I have no
Yeah.
idea.
I think Kelly's online, actually. Kelly, are you still with us?
I am, but that's a great question. I'll go look now to see what it says in my letter.
All right.
But it's
then,
been over 3 years, so Let me check.
Yeah, that does make sense to figure that out.
Then just keep moving down,
All right.
Mr. Chair. So right below it says D, prior to his appointment, we've been doing like his, her. In paragraph D, the human resource director shall have, prior to his appointment, at least 5 years' experience. But we've been doing like his, her, so
Or just say prior to appointment.
prior to the appointment. Sure, that's.
That makes
even
sense.
better.
Prior to the
Yeah, get
appointment.
rid of the,
Keep it neutral.
keep it neutral, yeah, okay. So that was, the only other thing I wanted to just, okay, so those are my changes. The only other thing that I wanted to point out is that you'll notice in, let me see what page I'm on. Now, I'm going to compare page 18 to page 11. So it gets a little squishy here. I can find it real quick in mine, but I'll tell you the exact section in a second. Yeah, so you just got to hold on to page 18 and page 11. So, but I'll give you the exact site number. It says section, page 18 is 2-133. Let me see if I got it here. Yeah, okay, 2-133. And then page 11 is 2, 4, 6, 8. Page 11 is that's 2-293 and Roman numeral 5. So I didn't drill down as much as I had, because I didn't have as much time as I thought I would to get to it. But you'll notice that, I'll just read the first one first. So 2-293 comptroller, however you pronounce it. Comptroller shall have the powers and duties of a city auditor under MGL Chapter 41, Sections 51 and 54, inclusive. Okay, so that's powers and duties of a city auditor under Chapter 41. Then you go to the Director of Internal Audit. The Director of Internal Audit shall have the powers and duties of a city auditor under Chapter 41, Sections 50 to 53. Do you notice something similar? It's the exact same powers and duties for the Controller and the Director of Internal Audit. They're both under the exact same thing. I'm just saying, where I think that's where we were going last week, and obviously we lost, and it is what it is, not going to change, but I think that's where we were going with the Controller. The powers and duties says right there, black and white. You guys we all voted for it last week. Roman numeral 5. Controller shall have the powers and duties of the city auditor under MGL Chapter 41. Okay, well then you go down to the Director of Internal Audits, and it says the exact same thing. The Director of Internal Audit shall have the powers and duties of a city auditor. Now,
Real quick.
that's all I got.
All right, thank you. The roles, my understanding between a comptroller and an auditor, aren't they like vice versa roles? Like, isn't one the person that manages the books on the daily, and the other is the one that checks the balances of the books? So aren't they supposed to have the same roles and responsibilities? Isn't that the understanding? How would you be able to audit something if you don't have the same powers as that person that you're auditing?
Are you asking me?
I think I'm just trying. I'm trying
I'll
to
give you my take,
Yeah, go ahead.
but I'm just me.
No, go ahead, Councilor Worley.
So my take is that the city auditor currently does all these things as defined under this whole CAFO thing, where they segregate it out.
Right.
But let us not forget that the city is audited by a separate independent public accounting firm. And we all know that because the city's been dinged multiple times in.
So are you arguing that there's no need for an auditor, or that there's no need for a comptroller? Because if the city gets audited already, then what would be the need of the auditor?
Well, I think that's what I kind of like the auditor because the city council, the way the government was set up way back when, is that the city council appoints the auditor. I don't see a reason why we should give that up if they're doing the same thing.
No, I don't disagree there, but I guess I'm trying to figure out
But
if.
I think what this is showing to me is that the way this is written is fine, but it seems to be redundant. I'm not saying it's completely redundant overall, but when you lay out that there's substantive powers and the source of those powers are the exact same thing in state law,
Yeah,
I'm saying
I get where you're pointing
you're
at.
going to come up, at some point, there's going to be a bone of contention between these parties.
I think that's part of the intent, though. I think that's part of it. I think the idea is that one of them is keeping the checks and balance on the regular basis, while the other one is checking and balance the checks and balance person. So eventually, if things are not lined up, there will be conflict and there will be lining up. But again, the comptroller is an imaginary position that we would love to have, right? It's just part of the map, part of the plan. For the time being, if there is no comptroller, that those roles and responsibility, to my understanding, will be assumed by the CAFO, right? If that's correct, right? And still, they would be under MGLC 41, and the auditor will still have the MGLC 41 powers too as well. So it's not necessarily changing anything. It's the same relationship in a sense. I see what you're pointing out, where the roles are the same, but I think for me, it's just that how, like, if we're going to have an auditor and we're going to have someone that's actually doing the books, unless you're saying that the auditor is the person doing the books too at the same time, and then to me is kind of in conflict of having.
The collector does that, does the books. That's what treasurer collector does. So the auditor kind of reviews the treasurer collector, and the CAFO would review all of it would be overseeing all of it. So that's why I'm probably away from the mic.
No, yeah,
That's
no,
why-
yeah, actually.
I was slouching.
Nah, that's cool.
Sorry, Jenny. I was slouching. So, but at any rate, that's where I was going with it.
No, I get where you're pointing out, and thank you for pointing that out. That makes sense.
Where we were trying to make it wasn't to try to make the argument last week, but then I wanted to go really drill down to this over the weekend, which I did, and I couldn't get in as much as I wanted to. I didn't go into the specific law, but the law, I didn't read chapter 41 like verbatim. I didn't have time to do it. But it seems to me, I don't know. You can always add control. If the government wanted a controller down the road, the controller could be added.
Right.
But
I get what you're saying.
But that's once you get the CAFO in place. What you're saying is, well, and I get it. You're saying, well, let's set it up now. Doesn't mean we necessarily have to fill the position. What I'm saying is, I'd rather not tempt us to set it up now because it's conflicting. But if there was a need, then we could change it down the road. That's where
And I'm kind of, I have to say, like, for me, I'm on the same page. I'm not strong on the comptroller. I don't actually see the necessity of it. But for me, in the planning phase and being able to map it out in the future in case we wanted it in the future, that makes sense. That's why I voted in favor of it. But I'm not necessarily, I don't think that that's going to happen anytime soon, a comptroller. Like, we don't have money for that, and we don't have the capacity to do that, even search that out at the moment. So, but I see your point, and Councilor Bacon has her hand raised.
Thank you. I would just say that it's a duplication of duties, and it's the kind of thing that creates confusion in an organizational structure. The auditor is supposed to be reviewing the accounts and the books, and in this particular layout, the comptroller is supposed to be sort of like the day-to-day keeper of the books and accounts. Right now, our auditor is the one who's approving that we have adequate money for appropriations and doing the reviews of the accounts, which from my understanding often doesn't get to.
Right.
That's my understanding. But I don't think you'd ever want to have two people charged with the exact same duties that are in a lateral org chart. It's
Yes, and
it's a duplication.
At least it isn't a duplication. I would say it is a duplication in the fact that they both have the same roles and responsibilities. It's not as outlined in Mass General Law because of the 41 and the 50, but it's not a duplication in the context of what their role is within the organizational structure. So an auditor is not the same as the comptroller. The positions are not the same.
No, the positions are.
They're not the same. And they're not doing the same work. They have the same access and the same responsibilities outlined in MGLC 41 and 50, but it's because they're both dealing, like, the auditor is going to be checking the comptroller's work. The auditor has to have that access too, so they could check the work. Like, I think that it makes sense to have it's not that it's a duplication of another role, it's a duplication of the powers so that that role can check the balance of the other role. So
They don't conflict.
and there are going to be times that they conflict. There's going to be times. That's the job of an auditor. I would agree to.
Roles shouldn't conflict.
I would agree to disagree
There
that.
may be conflict over the content,
So that's exactly where the
but
conflict
not
is.
the role.
All right. Thank you, Councilor Rivera.
So I'm looking, so the comptroller, it says chapter 41, sections 51 to 54A. And then the auditor says chapter 41, sections 50 and 53. So maybe they're just a bit,
It says inclusive.
And inclusive there too,
Yeah,
such
that
duties
means
as provided.
That means between.
Yeah, within.
between those.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, but I said, Jenny, you're right, I admitted it, I didn't have time to read the whole law.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's-
But anyway. we can-
No, but
down.
Councilor Barley, the point you bring up makes sense. Like, if their roles are the same, like, let's make sure that we're doing what we're doing. And it's not wrong to point that out. Like, that's diligent work. I see Kelly's hand raised. She probably has something to add.
Yeah, I just want to flag that the presentation that the mayor and treasurer Casey presented bullets the differences, and I don't mind reading them if you guys want me to. I know it's been a while since we looked at it, but the director of internal audit maintain general ledger and chart of accounts, perform revenue recognition, audit/review all warrants and vouchers, maintain and monitor fraud hotline, conduct random department audits, manage annual audit and federal single audits. Just to name a few. And then the comptroller would maintain the accounts payable and accounts receivable, oversee payroll processing, reconcile treasurer's cash to GL, maintain tax filings, assist with budget transfers, close all periods, including monthly and fiscal year period 13, prepare and file balance sheet and Schedule A.
Thank you.
yeah, thank you. My opinion is that the internal auditor can do that. That's what we're driving at.
Yeah, I get what you're
And
saying.
what you're saying is that we may not have the resources for it.
Yeah.
So why put it in there as an option?
So I guess
You have the option to put it in there later on.
I guess a good example is for me, like, if I'm building a house, right, and I have land, and I say, okay, I'm gonna build a 1-family house with 2 rooms. But when I build out, should I build out with the expectation that I'm gonna add 2 more extensions to my house, or should I not build out that way and then later on deal with the problems with what it is to build out to the extensions to the 2 to 3 more bedrooms I want to add to my house? So, like, which is better to plan for the future, or I don't know, plan to fail? It's either the other. That's
Taking your metaphor though, yeah, you got a beautiful house, you got enough land, but you can only build so much of your house now. You wouldn't drill the foundation and just leave it there for the next 15 years.
no, you wouldn't, but you'd map it out though.
Yeah, right, you mapped it out on paper.
That's it.
On-
That's all we're doing.
On paper, right, so we are mapping it out on paper.
Yeah, on paper.
We got the verbiage here,
Yeah.
ready to go another time.
Yeah.
If you put in an ordinance, then it's like you put the foundation in.
But it's
So
a-
I think that's different.
It would be, I guess.
Well, it's all good.
No,
That's well-
I got you, Councilor McGrath-Smith.
Thank you. So I looked in Unicode, and it looks like it's actually kind of a mix for the purchasing director, and that was the one that we were concerned about for 5, or was it human resources?
Human resources.
Okay. Because in human resources, which in ordinance is still personnel.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that's why I was having a hard time finding it.
We just changed that. We just changed that.
We just voted on, but it hasn't got.
I know, but
It
it's not.
probably didn't make it to.
But it's not going to be in
Unicode yet.
Unicode yet. Do you know what I mean? I was just trying to figure out how to quickly
Don't
find
hold your
it.
breath for it to get.
Okay, so it says the personnel administrator shall have a term of office of 5 years. So I guess maybe it's just aligning it to what we currently have in ordinance.
Fine, I'm just curious, that's all.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to look it up. Thank you. I was trying to figure out why I wasn't finding it, but of course the change isn't in there yet.
Right.
The other piece, those, and and thank you to Counselor Bartley for just the line-by-line work. I had found a couple other instances where we just used his instead of his or her, or just, made it neutral by removing it and being thoughtful about the structure of the sentence. So I don't know if it makes sense to go over them, but there's one on page 10, one on page 13, and 4 on page 24 that I caught. And I thought we just might want to tidy those up. So on page 10, this is right before the comptroller section starts. The last line right before the comptroller section just says his office or employment.
So you could just change the opposite. Oh, his or her, yeah.
Yeah, so his or her, I think maybe in that case.
Yep.
And then on page 13.
Well, that's paragraph O, Jeff. In, wow, where is it? Wow.
Yeah, I think you
really
found it.
back there.
Okay, and
Roman numeral 3,
13,
paragraph O.
under mayor's order required for payment of claims, it says the mayor in the case of his absence or inability. It could be in the case of absence or inability.
Yeah, just delete the
Yep.
gender references
Yep.
is
Good, yep.
cleanest.
Good enough for me.
And then on page 24, in the purchasing director sections, it says his successor at the very bottom of B. So his or her. And then in C, halfway through, it sort of starts and then continues. It says the director shall carry out the duties of the purchasing director until his return or until his successor. And then the last line, it says his respective office. So just 3 more cleanups.
Anything else?
Nope.
A motion.
Well, I'll make a motion to
Hold on, before you
other
motion.
than the one I said, the big one there, but 293, okay, just the other cleanup ones I had. So, but I don't know if you like them or not, the 30 days, the
Yeah.
business
Yeah,
days.
yeah.
Okay, so my motion is to approve those amendments as discussed tonight.
I'll second that.
Second, under discussion, Counselor Bacon.
Oh, I was just looking at the last page with the grades delineated. And I thought we were, okay, so comptroller's there, treasurer collector, and I was looking to see what the reference for internal audit was. Because there's other amendments listed. It's just in a different structure than the layout of the range. So seems like it would be better to be consistent in how it's shown.
So you would like,
But nonetheless, I guess it accomplishes the intended desired changes. So
okay,
it's there,
all right. Yeah. So on the motion, motion is to accept the amendments that were made and edits that were made from both Counselor Bartley and Counselor McGrath-Smith.
Yep, I'll make a motion to say that. So moved.
So moved. Do I hear a second?
Second.
I'm just going to do a roll call vote just for the sake of it. Counselor Bacon,
Yes.
Counselor Bartley,
Yes.
Counselor McGrath-Smith,
Yes.
Counselor Jenny Rivera,
Yes.
Counselor Israel Rivera, yes.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Jeff.
just want to make sure it's noted, I didn't catch all of the changes from Councilor Bartley, so just make sure you get with me afterwards so I
Yeah.
don't miss any of them.
All right, if Counselor Bartley, if you could forward the document over.
I will. I
Yep.
got them on.
He has them highlighted on the computer, so he'll just forward you
We can do that.
the situation.
And just under discussion, if I may. So I'm gonna renew my motion. Just I think I know it's gonna go down, but based upon what I said relative to what I feel is a redundancy, I'm gonna make a motion that we remove from this amended draft the entirety of section 2-293 comptroller.
I'll second that.
Under discussion?
Yeah, just what I said. It just seems like I think you heard what Councilor Bacon said. They're gonna be overlapping and on the same level, and you're gonna come into some potentially conflict. I think you've got this thing in your back pocket. It's written pretty well, in my opinion. But I just think once you have the experience of having the organization like that, you'll have the capital there, you have the mayor there, you have the director of internal audit there, you have the treasurer collector there, and the other financial people, and they'll know whether or not a comptroller is required. And if you got the comptroller language basically set, then you can put it in down the road. But right now, I don't think, I mean, that would be an easy fix. Right now, I think you're opening up a can of worms. So that's why I'm offering the motion.
Councilor Reagan?
And I'll just say again what I said before. This document that was originally presented with the concept that we were merging the school department finances with the city finances, which was one of the major arguments for creating any of these positions, has been removed from this ordinance. It's completely gone. So in my view, what this is big government, more bureaucracy. I don't see the efficiency. I've run organizations. I know what efficient organizations look like. They don't look like this. This is more boxes, more reporting lines, overlapping duties, which creates confusion and does not lend to efficiency or effectiveness. So that's my argument on the merits of the comptroller, which was written in for a city 3 times the size of ours, with 3 times more book of business than we have. And so, to me, this document just is not reflective of what we need. Thank you.
Thank you. And I think I'm just on my end, I'd be inclined to support the removal, right? Because again, like I said, it doesn't seem like this is something that's feasible at the moment, not something that we're going to take up. But I also don't see the hurting of planning for the future and making sure that we have our ducks in order when things come forward. We're talking about efficiency in organizational structure and in government. There are a lot of reasons why we are where we are in the current state. And we haven't been running in an efficient government for quite some time, to be honest. And if it got to the point where we were as a community fit to face receivership, not as a school, but I mean as a community, I'm pretty sure the state themselves would install a comptroller for government efficiency and all the other things. But that's neither here nor there. I think for this particular topic, again, I'd be inclined in supporting like the removal of the position if it made no sense in the future. But if it makes sense to map out, we're not actually hiring someone for this. This is not actually happening right now. It doesn't hurt to plan and map for the future. I feel like if a lot of this had been done in the past, we might have not been crossing these bridges right now and having to deal with some of the situations that we're dealing with in the moment. So, yeah, I'm going to vote in favor of this, just specifically around planning for the future and making sure that we have an understanding of, like, we can see where we're going later on without just blindly going into what we're going to go into moving forward. I see Councilor Bacon has her hand raised again. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the point that I would like to make is that if we had, which our citizens just voted for, a qualified treasurer within the city, many, many issues that have been reported for years through the audit and the state would be addressed.
We don't know that.
Well, do know that.
We don't know that.
In fairness, we've had audits telling us that for
Yeah, but
years,
we
that
don't know
issues
that.
in that office have led to.
That's an assumption. That's not a factual
No,
base.
I would refer you to the audits and the reports from the state.
But we're not talking about actual moments that happened. You're talking about an insinuation that could potentially happen if something
No,
had
no,
happened.
I'm referring to the
No,
actual audits.
No, I understand
Thank
you're
you.
referring to the audits.
Don't twist my words.
I'm not twisting your words. I'm going based on what you said. I'm
I'm
not.
saying the actual written audits is what I'm referring to.
That's what you're referring to now, but that's not what you originally started with. But that's okay.
I said the-
I
said
appreciate that.
citizens have voted for us to appoint a qualified treasurer.
Right.
The only qualification we've ever had for treasurer in the past is that the person lives in Holyoke.
And you said that if that was not the case, that we wouldn't be facing what we're facing today.
I said if we
That's
had
that'd
a
be-
qualified treasurer, it would go a long ways to correcting the issues that have been found in the audit over the years and that have been brought to our attention repeatedly.
I could agree with that. Okay, I'll take that. Anyone else before we take the vote? On the vote, so the vote is to eliminate. Wait, hold on, Jeff.
293.
2-.
Yeah, just before you take the vote, I just wanted to note that on page 13, it also references the comptroller. So if your intention was to eliminate the comptroller,
So can we get
I
an
just wanted to
amendment?
make sure you didn't miss anything.
Yep.
And there are also other sections that refer to the comptroller outside of the section you were looking to delete.
So can we get an amendment that states, and that could come from whoever wants to make the amendment, that we eliminate the section with the comptroller and any other references to the
So
comptroller?
moved.
Second,
Roll call vote. Counselor Bacon,
yes?
Counselor Bartley, Counselor McGrath Smith,
No.
Counselor Jenny Rivera,
No.
Counselor Israel Rivera. No. That does not pass 3-2. So that section stays as is with regards to the comptroller, but all the other amendments suggested by Counselor Bartley and Counselor McGrath Smith, we voted that before. And Counselor McGrath Smith.
Thank you to the chair. I had a question around if it's possible to take an item out of order. I'm not sure what Daniel Duffy is here for. I know that Victoria Hull, I'm just wondering if they're here for
Daniel
particular
is one
items.
of the interpreters.
I assumed he was an interpreter too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then is there anyone who's here that is here for a specific item, and so we should?
After we finish this order.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we had just.
I thought we just finished number one.
You haven't voted on the amended
We did.
ordinance.
We did. We voted right before this.
We voted on the amendment to delete.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. You're
We
correct.
have not voted on the entire amended ordinance.
Yeah, you got to vote on the.
We have to-
So we amended the stuff, that passed, and we tried to amend the 293, that
That
failed.
failed.
So now we just
Now
have
you can
to,
take a vote on,
on just the entire
amended
language.
ordinance.
All
yeah,
right.
yeah, you know.
All right.
That's all.
All right. So then,
Just, it's,
no, it makes sense.
Process.
Makes sense. Totally makes sense. So I entertain a motion to finalize the wording in the municipal model.
so the motion be to approve as amended, I think that's what you're
If
saying.
that's what you want to do.
Yeah, sure. And then the motion,
Yeah.
motion to approve as amended. Then, or I entertain a motion to approve.
Well, I'll make the motion to approve as amended right now, so somebody just.
I need a second.
Which I'm sorry. Just I want to specify which includes the comptroller position.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, second.
Right.
Second,
Under discussion?
under discussion.
Okay, thank you. Just two things, real
Sure.
quick. One, I can't vote for it with the comptroller, so that's just my take.
That's cool.
Second off, I would strongly urge you to, once you pass it tonight, to lay on the table and get back legal language. I just noticed I have one, and I'm not gonna kill you now, because I have one other part here, which is, I should have.
Can't do that. I got a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. We got time.
It's so bad, I need to think it out more, but it's a pretty harsh section of the ordinance that I don't even know why this is in here, but I don't want to go through it now, I need to think it out some more. So, I mean, you can pass it to the full city council, I'll put the amendment on the floor of full city council, or I'd rather do it here, but whatever you want to do. So, that's just my 2 cents, thank you.
So I think we're just passing now, and then if at the council needs to be tabled again, then we'll table it at full council.
Whatever you want to do. I'm good.
So
On the motion.
on the motion, to accept the amended language, Councilor Reagan,
No,
Councilor Bartley,
No.
Councilor McGrath Smith,
Yes.
Councilor Jenny Rivera,
Yes.
Councilor Israel Rivera. Yes, that passes 3-2, and go to full council, and hopefully we'll figure that out when we get to that point.
Well, I'll make one more motion just in the hopes that we can maybe, I'm going to make a motion to lay it on the table so we can get the language back and have it read one more time.
I'll second it.
Second. On the discussion, Councilor McGrath Smith.
You can't discuss on the table.
Oh, you can't discuss table. I keep
For
forgetting. That.
legal.
Well, yeah, you know how that goes.
Yeah, no, that's cool. All right, on the vote, Councilor Reagan,
Yes.
Councilor Bartley,
Yes.
Councilor McGrath Smith,
No.
Councilor Jenny Rivera,
No.
and Councilor Israel Rivera. No, that does not pass. 3-2 to table it. So it'll go to full council for the next meeting, and then hopefully we'll have all that figured out. If not, then we'll deal with that situation with the language then.
Well, thanks for hearing me out.
Always a pleasure, Council.
Where are we?
We're at 2 now.
So my question was if we wanted to take up any items out of order, like is there a specific order that Victoria Hool's for rather than keep her on? And I know that Kelly is also staying on until we talk through 11. So if there's not a specific order that Victoria Hool is on for, then I would make it.
Well, ask her.
Yep.
What are you here for?
Hi, I'm here for 3. I think it's agenda item, maybe it starts with number 8. There's 3 ordinance changes related to stop sign stuff.
Okay.
That's item 9, I think.
Let me look. So 8.
Oh no, it's
Stop
8.
signs.
8, yeah.
So do you want to take up 8, 9, and 10?
And 10 is roads.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to go out of order and take up items 8, 9, and 10 as a package.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item 8 was followed by Councilor Devine. Order that the council approve the changes of Holyoke Code of Ordinances, Chapter 86, Schedule 4, Stop Streets, Associated Implementation of Stop Control on local side street intersection Homestead Ave between Westfield Road and Cherry Street, as detailed in the memorandum prepared by the Assistant City Engineer July 29, 2025. Item 9. Also filed by Councilor Devine, order that the council approve the change to Holyoke Code of Ordinances, Chapter 86, Schedule 4, Stop Streets associated with the implementation of all-way stop control at the following locations as detailed in the memorandum of changes associated with Mass DOT all-way stop control program prepared by the Assistant City Engineer dated July 29.
I'm not sure they're getting what you're saying, Izzy. You're kind of
Oh, I'm mumbling?
muted.
My bad. Let me read that real quick. Order that the council approve the changes to Holyoke Code of Ordinances, Chapter 86, Schedule 4, stop streets associated with the implementation of all-way stop control at the following locations as detailed in the memorandum of changes associated with the Mass DOT all-way stop control ASWC program prepared by the Assistant City Engineer, dated July 29, 2025. Appleton Street at Elm, Cabot Street at Nick Cosmos Way, Dwight Street at Pine Street, Sergeant Street at Commercial Street, Sergeant Street at Elm Street, Sergeant Street at Sycamore Street, West Franklin Street at Linden Street. And then item 10, also filed by Councilor Devine, order that the various traffic schedules contained in the Holyoke Code of Ordinances, Chapter 86, Article 9, be updated as detailed in the memorandum of changes required by the upcoming City Center Connector project prepared by the Assistant City Engineer dated July 29, 2025. That was it, right? 8, 9, and 10?
So I'll make a motion to recommend adoption of all the legal forms of City Council.
Second.
On the discussion.
Could we ask Victoria Hool to give her a brief and brilliant?
If Victoria, if you can kind of elaborate a little bit on these particular items, that would be great.
So the one for the first item 8, about the side streets to Homestead, Route 202, I think at some point somebody asked about a stop sign on one of these streets. And it does make sense in accordance with MUTCD, the guidance criteria for minor road stop control when you are on a side street to a more major street, and that is the Route 202 portion. So it was justified. In that same realm of things, though, all of the side streets were justified. So I did a, summary of them. Some of them already had stop signs, but they aren't in the ordinance. Some of them in the ordinance are private streets, etc. So this change would be, I think there are only a few that actually need to have physical signs placed, like Fairmont and Fenton need to have stop signs placed, but the other four already have stop signs, but they're not in ordinance. So I'm just trying to resolve the inconsistency there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Work Rate Counselor, for pointing out. Oh, okay.
Thank you too.
Yeah, all right.
That was 8, right? All right.
That was 8. If you want me to go to 9, I can. I didn't.
Yes, 9. Thank you.
Okay, so 9 is Mass DOT has this always stop control program. I think this was them initiating it. This was not SoCop kind of took this one over, but in any event, they did, whenever we say like there should be a traffic analysis, they had the funding. I think it was probably based on accident data. They evaluated the list of streets, the Appleton at Elm, Cabot at Nick Cosmos, Dwight and Pine. They did that. Their recommendation is to implement always stop control at these intersections. They will actually even pay for the sign materials, and then the city just has to install them. So I think in the near future, you will also be seeing the grant agreements come before you, even though there's no money being changed, right, to have those adopted. But this is to, again, take care of the ordinance changes that I feel like have fallen through the cracks before. So this is to formally, I guess, agree with them and have the ordinance updated accordingly.
Sounds good.
So what we're saying is going to be 4-way stop signs on all these locations then.
At all of those locations, yes.
So all those Sergeant Street locations. And all,
Yep.
That's going to be interesting.
On the motion.
Wait, no, you got one more. We got 10 left.
Just 10.
Okay,
Yeah, 10.
now we also have 10. Okay. 10 is the longest of all of the memos, but the Center City Connector project that is on Cabot and Race Street, we did the order of taking for, that also has some changes to signals, etc. Parking spaces, you know what I mean, like where parking stops to make sure it's 20 feet away from the intersection, etc. The summary of changes looks worse than what the project is necessarily entailing. But like every other time, sometimes the stuff in real life doesn't even match. So I tried to sort of forego that. So there is a part where it is possible that whatever is in existing might be the same, but I'm saying within those roads, replace everything with these. So there's a couple different schedules. There's updates to the parking schedule. And the list of to delete is things that I see in Unicode, and then the things that I have as add are the things that are actually in the project on the plans. Then there's also updates to the schedule of stop streets in all 4 situations. The stop condition already exists, but it is not in the schedule. For bus stops, they're, shifting slightly. So again, there's delete and add. And then the schedule that I guess I had never really dealt with before was the lane controls. So there's actually only a few on that schedule in the first place, but in the spirit of trying to make sure everything is, consistent, there are some, right turn must turn right, left turn must turn left. There are many more that are in real life that are missing from that schedule, but these are the ones that are related to this project, so I'm proposing that we add them, and also the bicycle lanes.
Thank you, Councilor Reagan.
I just want to thank you, Victoria, because A lot of times we talk about updating the ordinance, but we often don't get around to it. This was a lot of detailed technical work, very much appreciated. I'll be happy to support this, and thank you.
Thank you.
You, anyone else? Councilman McGrath-Smith?
I just wanted to agree with Councilor Vacan. It's very detailed technical work, and you have our appreciation. Thank you.
That being said, on the motion is to approve 7, 8, no, it's 8, 9, and 10.
Yeah, to recommend approval for the full city council, all the legal forms.
And to recommend approval to full city council and the legal forms that arrive. And there's a second on roll call vote. Councilor Vacan?
Yes.
Councilor Bartley? Councilor McGrath-Smith?
Yes.
Councilor Jenny Rivera?
Yes.
Councilor Israel Rivera, yes. Those are 8, 9, and 10.
Motion to take item 11 off the table.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
So we're still staying out of order? So suspend the rules, take 11 out of order, I'll second that.
All right, perfect. Second, item 11. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 11 was filed by McGrath-Smith. Order that the city council separate positions of parks superintendent and city forester and make necessary changes in the ordinance. In order to do so, our current combined position is not supported by ordinance. Councilor McGrath-Smith.
Thank you. And this came out of a number of different conversations that were happening in council. Our current ordinance doesn't completely align up even with our current position, but it also became a conversation that I know after talking with Kelly Curran has also been happening at the union level too. So I thought that it was an appropriate time for us to take it up and hear an update from where those conversations have gone so far. And I know that she had worked on a draft of a description to consider how you would separate those two. So I was hoping that we could look at that draft and give some initial feedback, initial thoughts around how, if we agree, if we would like to see certain things revised or changed, so that I know as they're going through the process of these conversations with the union, that they could then, use our conversation, to, inform the decisions that they're, working towards. And then hopefully next month we'd be able to look at then a revised draft for our consideration. But it could be a longer process too, because it depends too on, I have no sense, honestly, of if we're on the same page, if we do want to separate these positions, how we would want to separate them. Mm-hmm. So at the will of the body, just a place for us to have that initial conversation. And I know that they were printed and handed out, but now suddenly I can't find my drafts that were here. Any chance that someone has two?
That's still the same.
I know
Jeffrey brought them out.
I know Jeffrey did, but no, they're not in my pile anymore.
Check that email, please.
They're not the same though.
All right, maybe I can.
While
ask
you're
her.
looking, may I say a few words?
Yes.
Sure.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
I just want to point
Wait, hold
out
on.
that.
Councilor Vacan wants to chime in first. Go
I
ahead.
just wondered if we also have access to the other job description, because all I'm seeing is forestry.
Yeah, I only got forester right now.
We don't
Yeah,
have
that's what I wanted to
supervisor.
explain. So
Okay.
one of them is the current position, and maybe I should have wrote something, but it is in the email. And it's the one that says city forester. And if you look at the job description, it has all parks duty, very minimal tree or forestry duties. The one that says draft city forester would be the proposed one. And I would get input from the DPW director for the superintendent for the parks, but it's basically the current job description with a title that says city forester.
So
So
Go ahead,
can we
Counselor,
say
'cause-
park supervisor rather than city forester?
yeah, there's one that says
The
they
current-
both say city forester. One says city forester, Department of Public Works Forestry Division, and the other one just says city forester. So I'm assuming the newer one is the one that just says city forester on the top.
Yeah, so I'm multitasking, so I'm not in front of the computer, but I believe the the current one that our, Mr. Tuig is serving in says updated July 2014 or something like that on the bottom.
Oh, it's the one that says city forester only at the very
Dated
top.
November 2014.
Yeah, that's
so
the real one.
That's the current position that he's working in. And if you read it, it says all parks-related duties. They just changed the title at some point. At some point, there were two positions, and I believe if, my memory serves me right, it changed under,
Mike Sullivan.
Mayor Sullivan, yes. And so, at that time, they merged it, and, Mr. Tuig took on the duties of both positions. And it's, as we know, we've gotten, he does a great job, but we've gotten complaints about different things not being done, and we felt like we should look deeper into it, and it should probably be two positions, so that we could give the city what they deserve.
So real quick, and I understand a lot of that. I learned a lot of that when I was on the Parks and Recs Commission about 3-4 years ago, before I was on the council. And is there talk to give the Parks and Recs director responsibilities over parks back? Because I feel like when I was on the commission, there was a lot of miscommunication between Parks and Recs and DPW, because the Parks and Recs director actually is the one that books the fields, knows when the dates are and all the other stuff of when things need to be lined, like all that specific parks recreation stuff. And there was a lot of disconnect. And I remember when Terry was there, I used to like ask Terry, what are the main issues? And for her, it's like, I don't control the staff. I can tell them to do it, but it's no guarantee that they're going to do it. And for me, that creates what was mentioned earlier, like conflict and confusion, right? Because we have someone that's called Director of Parks and Recreation, and when someone books the softball diamond or the baseball diamond, the fields aren't lined for a game, and they paid, right, like the fee to use the field. The explanation from the Parks and Recs director is like, hey, I put in the order, right? I let them know. I can't just tell them what to do because I don't necessarily supervise them. Like the park superintendent supervises them, who's under DPW, which is a whole separate department. So for me, it's trying to like understand how we can kind of give back some of the responsibilities to the Parks and Recreation director. And I think at the time it was a little more difficult for someone, and no disrespect to Terry, but her skill set mostly was in the recreation section, not in the managing parks section, right? Where the person we kind of have now came from DPW and totally understands the system. So I think it'd be an easier lift in combining the both, like in trying to do that work. But that doesn't stand with me personally, right? Like I think that's a larger conversation that needs to be had between, I think, the unions and you guys. But it only makes sense that if the Parks and Recs director is booking the fields, right, that they have control over when the grass gets cut, when the fields get lined, when the nets get put up in the basketball court, right? Like they don't have to ask someone permission to come and do that. But that's just my own like take on this whole, like I think it's the perfect time to do it if we're gonna be doing this. Like that's the part for me. But
I definitely think that could be part of the conversation. I think the issue will lie in the staff under the park superintendent, our DPW staff, and so if there's a shortage in refuse or recycling, I believe they get pulled,
Right.
or for other things. So that would be a deeper discussion and might involve two unions instead of just one.
all right, thank you. Anyone have anything else to add?
I have a question.
Councilor McGrath-Smith, you have a question?
Thank you. Through the chair to Kelly, I had a question, and again, it's just because this is not my field, and I'm trying to hold on to some of the more complicated terms here. So the very first line of the city forester, proposed draft here says responsible for planning, assigning, and supervising all forestry, horticultural, and floricultural activities. And I was just sort of wondering, what?
Are you asking me to define those?
Yeah, like what is horticultural and floricultural activities mean? Like gardening?
Gardening.
Like they should be handling all the gardens and the shrubs?
I'm gonna be honest, I got those terms from Northampton and Springfield. positions of the same or similar titles. And, you know, I don't
Yeah.
know, I can look them up, but I don't know the definitions.
Yes, Councilor Bacon.
I have a functional question. Who's going to make sure all the brush gets trimmed off the roads where people can't see the speed signs and all that?
I believe
Is that-
that's the highway division. I
Yes,
don't think
highway
it has
division.
anything to do
So
with
that's not
parks.
going to
I
have
think it's
anything to
highway.
do with the forester?
No,
Well-
I
Okay.
believe, I do not believe, I would have to confirm with the director, but I do not believe it. I think that's the highway solely,
Oh,
the
okay.
highway division.
Okay, thank you. And then my
You're
other
welcome.
question is, are you saying we're going to end up with two positions from the one, or are you saying the director of Parks and Rec is going to assume the supervisory duties and the forester is going to do forestry?
It would be two different positions is
So
what
you're-
we were proposing.
You're talking about an additional position.
Correct.
So then
It
we'd
was
have-
two positions before. Yeah, we would have to budget for it, yes.
Yeah, but that was like 10, 15,
That was more than that. That's
20
like 20 years
ago.
ago, yeah.
So we'd have to understand the fiscal ramifications as well as we're looking at this,
That's
okay?
why, yeah, that's why I made the suggestion of the Parks and Recs director. I think the other question I was gonna have when looking at the city forester, like, I don't want to add more on Yoni's plate, but like as a conservation and recreation person too as well, I think he is actually an arborist already, right? Like there's different things that like he's already kind of like doing, and again, not saying that I want him to take on more work, but like some of this can kind of fall under. I mean, it would make sense to me for it to fall under conservation and some of the work that they're doing. But again, those are
Whole new position in his department, just this year.
I thought they just cut it. Didn't they just cut that position? Well,
Saying.
but this is not giving him another position, to my understanding.
No.
This is
No,
like,
I'm saying he has one.
yeah. So yeah, and then it could work through. I guess they could work through that. But I'm only stating that to like put that out there when you're having the conversations of mapping out what it would look like for like creating whether we create a new position, or the idea is, hey, we would like to have these two positions, but because we can't afford it right now, we would like for these two people to take on some of these roles whenever we decide to act on it or something like that. And again, I'm just saying it as just recommendations or whatnot. Councilor McGrath-Smith.
Oh, so I have a couple questions, and and none of them I think are easily answered. I think that there's so much overlapping lines of responsibility and areas of care between DPW, parks, conservation, and forestry. And I know that, as much as it's been really hard to get through, hopefully, we get through the process of the financial department that we've been working on. But for me, this is like the next layer. All of these things, it's really hard to point when something goes wrong, why, and who's at fault, who's responsible ultimately. And so I think whatever it is that we have in front of us that we consider has to make really clear, how does forestry relate to parks, DPW, and conservation? And where is it falling? And to a certain extent, I don't understand why it's its own department. Why shouldn't it just, especially because we're moving to us using contracted services for a lot of our tree work, and we're not using our truck, we should sell it.
Exactly.
And then we should,
Times 3 years now.
and we should look at, if we're, not looking to hire more tree wardens or tree climbers because we're using contracted services, then if we're going that route, can that just be something that is overseen by the DPW director or overseen by the conservation
whoever, yeah.
director, so that it's not one more position that's like a supervisory role? Because especially because we're taking the people out of the department effectively by not having tree climbers and moving to contracted services.
Even if each one gets
Yeah.
their own line item, right? So like, let's say Parks, Kelly School, the softball diamond has trees that are growing over the field, and when people go field, sometimes they hit themselves and they have to be cut or whatnot. Like the conservation person probably wouldn't know that because they don't visit the park that much, but like Parks and Recs director does, and he would know that, and he wouldn't have to ask someone, hey, get these branches cut, if they had the line item for that
Towards the
particular,
contracted service.
right, towards the contract service.
So if Parks had a certain line item and Conservation had a line item,
Right.
if DPW had a line item, towards contracted services, do we need one additional
Forest.
supervisor
Right.
who's coordinating all of that, or can that responsibility live somewhere else?
Yep, I get what you're saying. So Kelly, you got all that?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, it's not that we don't want to hire tree climbers. We were unable to increase the salary and be competitive. And so we didn't get any candidates. We had one, I think, in the 3 years that I've been here, and they left pretty quickly, for personal reasons. But other than that, we haven't had any candidates. So it's not that we don't want to have a tree climber. We just have not gotten any candidates.
Thank you. Councilor Regan?
Thank you. And I hear the point about being unable to hire a tree climber. However, it was pitched to the city council to buy this truck with the understanding that they had the staff to man the truck, because otherwise we never would have approved the purchase. So I think the intentions are one thing, but the reality that we have on the ground is another. And we've been using that truck minimally throughout the city. And I think the point around contracting and consolidating some of these departments is a very good one. And I look forward to having more discussion on that. But I think for now, we can look these over and do some due diligence between now and our next meeting. But I think for tonight, we have to table this and look into it further and come back for more discussion. It
Yes.
could get pretty complex,
And,
but
and this is only,
it's a good discussion.
and this is only, thank you, Councilor Regan. And this is only for a city forester, right? This is not park superintendent either. Kelly?
Well, she's got supervisor and forester.
Yeah, so I can draft a park superintendent, that was the idea, but it's basically what the current job description is.
That says
title's
city
just different.
forester. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So you're saying
But
the,
I'll draft one so that it's separate for,
yeah, if you could draft one just so that I could see it, one separate.
It's basically this.
Yeah, it's this
Yeah.
this one, yes, but that is the city forester position too.
Right.
So like
because that's his current title, but all the duties in there are park related if you.
parks related. But if you were to break them on into two different positions, they would have the same job description for both.
No, they were
This
not.
one
Right. So
and this one.
so that if I could get another job description and then just change the name or whatever it is, I don't think it'd be exactly the same. There'd be some things eliminated around forestry for superintendent, for park superintendent. But all right, yeah. Councilor McGrath Smith.
Thank you. I think one of my questions is, the under contracted services right now, the only thing that we're doing is trimming and cutting trees. So I guess my only other question is, like, looking at the description of the work that is here, there's all the things around acting as the tree warden, overseeing planting, effectively doing all of the work to generate what work should be done, right? Auditing things around the city consistently and being able to say, here is the work that should be done. And I do know, whether this is, something that has to be a separate role, and because that kind of work is such specialty work and is its own job description. The 100 Dangerous Trees document that Councilor Jernane and I worked on, one of the hard parts is that, here's the funding and let's move on it, right? There wasn't an audit anywhere in the city of what trees should be taken down. There was a list of trees people had complained about or had said they were worried about. And that's different than having an arborist actually say, these trees are dangerous and these ones need to be taken down. I will only say this because the trees that are in my neighborhood that came down, you would never have said, oh, that tree, that's the one that has to get taken down. But also, because a friend of ours who was an arborist was in my neighborhood afterwards, because it was a field day, if you're an arborist, let's go look at all the crazy damage that happened from the storm. They were like, oh yeah, that tree was going to come down. Look at the roots.
Well, then you'll have 500.
Right.
Well,
But my point is, though, I'm just saying that the other thing here that I'm just, as I'm reading it over, that I'm noticing in particular is that the only contracted services work we're having done right now is trimming and cutting. But we don't have anyone coming up with the knowledge that's the basis of that work or doing any work around planting.
So I don't.
Other than I think Yoni has.
I was gonna say, I don't-
Planting through grants he's found.
But I also think he might have an audit of trees too as well. I'm not sure if that's correct, but I remember he is speaking to him, and he came to one of the meetings, saying that they have a list. Not the 100 trees is a separate list than what he has. He has a whole
For the
different
tree
list.
inventory.
Yeah, of which ones need help and which ones don't, and which one. So I think there's a foundation for it, but you're not wrong in saying like nobody's really focused on it. Councilor Reagan.
Thanks. So we can request for Jeffrey to see if there is a list that might inform us relative to.
Aside from the 100,
As
right?
besides the 100.
Okay.
That could inform us relative to the connection between DPW, forestry, and conservation. So if we could ask Jeffrey to reach out and request that while we table this, and we also get from Kelly what revisions would be made to the current forester to make it a supervisor job. But we can still continue discussing whether we need yet another manager separately, but we can still look at it.
Yeah. Or if
And
it's
that would be
less.
I don't think there's anything else. So my motion would be to table and request those pieces of information for our next meeting.
All right, second.
I'll second it.
Second under discussion. I don't think there's any.
You can't just go.
Oh, it's tabled again. Fuck.
Yes or no?
I keep forgetting that it's tabled. It's the, anyways.
If somebody's got something to say, we never.
No. Of course. So the motion is to table this order,
All in favor?
and then to request Jeffrey to see if there's any other list regarding trees aside from the 100 dangerous trees. Specifically, I would say just ask Yoni to see if there's something around auditing some of the trees in the community. So on the motion, Councilor, the roll call vote, Councilor Reagan,
Yes?
Councilor Bartley, Councilor McGrath Smith,
Yes.
Councilor Jenny Rivera,
Yes.
Councilor Israel Rivera, yes. Passes 5-0. That was item 11, I believe.
We're going back to regular order.
Yeah.
Motion to take up item 2.
Item 2, second, all in favor? Aye. Item 2 is followed by Councilor McGee. Order that the position of Chief Administrative Financial Officer be created and added to Schedule A. This one has been tabled a couple times. I believe we were waiting on language, but at the same time, we were also waiting to figure out. Yeah, I think we're waiting for this to go along with all the other things. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, I don't see language here either, unless you guys have it.
We had originally marked this as complied with because we had already
Yep.
established that
Oh,
through.
it's in the
Yes.
other document.
Oh.
It just got passed back here when everything got
Oh,
passed
when
here as a
everything-
package.
okay.
But we had marked this as complied with and sent this to council previously.
So we should just do the same thing again,
Do the
Yeah.
same thing.
because it's in the other act.
Correct. I think so.
Okay,
All right,
so entertain.
is that a motion?
I'll entertain.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to mark this as complied with.
Your second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Roll call vote. Councilor Reagan.
Yes.
Councilor Bartley. Councilor McGrath Smith.
Yes.
Councilor Jenny Rivera.
Yes.
Councilor Israel Rivera. Yes.
And we'll put a note that it's in the act. Modernization.
Yep. So now we
Motion
are
to
on
take up
3.
item 3.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Item 3 is followed by Councilor Jordan. Order that the City Council adopt the attached draft ordinance establishing the role of parliamentarian of the City Council. Where is this? This is
On discussion?
Councilor Bartley.
Yeah, I did a fair amount of work on this already. I oppose it completely. I don't think there's any reason to have it. To me, there's so many parts in here where the city clerk is already doing parts of this. A lot of department already should be doing it. We can add some of these duties to the administrative assistant role. And if that's the case, you can give them the appropriate pay. Stuff about the president, maintaining the quorum. I mean, to me, this is just government overkill. So I'm going to make a motion. My motion is to give a leave to a draw.
Do I hear a second? I'm going to second it just for discussion. under discussion, Councilor Bacon.
Thank you. My reading of the intent of it was just because we've had many disagreements on interpretation of rules, what rules apply, does Robert's rules apply in this instance, do our rules apply? And we've had differing opinions from the law department that from 1 year to 2 years later contradict each other in total. And so I think the idea behind this was to have a neutral party. And so that typically in other organizations I've been involved with is the role that the parliamentarian plays. I don't think up until the recent complexities and challenges around working through some of the processes happened that the need for it was felt. But I would just articulate that those things I think are what has prompted this. And I don't see whether you agree that we should have it or not, because in general, I'm not one to look to be adding more to the government. I do think that's what has given rise to the idea of having one. So, because we've never had so many conflicts over our rules ever in the history that I've been involved in. So that would just be my context that I would point out.
Thank you. Anyone else? Councilor McGrath-Smith.
Thank you. I would just say I'm torn because I think that the idea of having a neutral party to be able to reach out to for advice, and I think that I can understand the desire for that. Will second what Councilor Bartley said, that I would strive for our law department to fully and fairly represent all interests in the city. And I will also second that. I think as a new counselor, I will say that I've relied a lot on my fellow counselors and also the city solicitor, and also a lot on our assistant, who is great about me saying, people are saying that, X, where has this happened before? Can you please point me to where that is? Or can you point me to the correct rule? Part of it, I think, is we're having more conflicts around rules because there are so many folks on council now that weren't necessarily on council when these rules were written. And I feel like we're sort of in this, there's a lot of group psychology, right? Like I work with students around like forming and, storming and norming. Like we're sort of in that place of butting heads around what certain things mean. My hope is that is not something that continues long term, and that we would not need a parliamentarian as a result.
Thank you. Jenny, you don't have nothing else just in case? I think I guess I would agree with Councilor McGrath-Smith and Councilor Bartley regarding just that. I think that there are already certain mechanisms in place that kind of already should be able to handle the roles or that are outlined, or the the criteria outlined. But I also agree with Councilor Bacon with regards to just how handling or understanding the rules or the makeup of what the council is and having a neutral party. The problem I have with it is that it's just like this kind of should have been done a while ago. It feels like it's just happening now because certain people don't like the way things turn out. And for me, that's not the reason to increase government in a sense, right? Or to create another position, because you don't necessarily agree with how things turn out. If this was something that like it was embedded in the system already from the beginning, it would be something that is neutral if it's from the beginning and it was intended, like the whole position was intended for that. But now for me, I have the feeling that it's no longer neutral, and it will be used as a weapon, whether it be for one group or another group. And that to me is not what the intent should be, but it will be used that way. I think with our current solicitors and the current people we have, it creates or produces enough neutrality, but not everyone feels that way. Councilor Vega.
Thank you. I do not find it helpful to speculate on what the intention of a person who files an order is, nor do I think it is helpful to say that something would be used in a certain way when it is clearly put forth to be a neutral party speaking to matters of law and due process. So I think if we want to be working together, we can agree to disagree, but I think to characterize something like this, which is very straightforward, and any of us who have worked with parliamentarians know it is a specific and specialized skill set. They walk in the room, they have a specialized job to do. They don't take sides. They rule on the matter and the issue at hand in accordance with the law.
They will rule
So-
with the person that knows the most and the best.
Well, that is your opinion, and I think it's divisive and unhelpful.
It's not an
So-
opinion. If someone doesn't know how to produce their case forward, then they won't rule in favor of that person. And that doesn't make it
It's
fair to
not
that
a
person.
trial. But thank you,
So then why do you need a parliamentarian?
because,
You need a neutral judge then if it's not a trial.
well, in
I
essence,
don't understand sometimes. It contradicts. But yes, I hear you. Thank you for that. On the motion, I guess, the motion is for leave to withdraw of this particular order. Anything else added to it? No, right, Councilor Bartley?
Yeah, I agree with what everybody said. Yeah, listen, Kevin's the hardest working counselor here, pretty much.
Yes, sir.
And he's always thinking outside the box.
Yes, sir.
It's just that I don't think the time is right for it, that's all. There's nothing personal here, I just don't think the time is right. And plus, we have other people that should be doing these things, they're already in positions, and maybe that's the discussion that needs to be had, okay?
It was seconded. Discussion already happened. So on the vote, Councilor Vagan.
no.
So wait, no, that okay. Councilor Bartley.
Yes.
Councilor McGrath Smith.
No.
Councilor Jenny Rivera.
Yes.
Councilor Israel Rivera. Yes. 3-2. That motion or the order is leave to withdraw. Entertain the order for item 4.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item 4 was filed by Vacan and Jourdain. Order that the City Council establish minimum eligibility requirements such as a 4-year degree in accounting, finance, and 3-year successful management experience for appointment as treasurer prior to initial appointment if voters approve the appointment. This one is 4.
I don't see anything attached.
Yeah, I don't see anything attached either. Kelly, you're still online, I see.
I don't know if she is. Oh, she is.
I am. I didn't know I had a choice to get off.
I thought we were done. I thought you were done. I thought you were done.
I'm teasing. But I don't have the attachment in front of me.
We don't have one either. I think that's the situation right now.
It wasn't in the packet. Jeff usually has everything in the packet.
Oh, did
Go ahead, Councilor Vacan.
you send one over to us?
I didn't send one over. I thought that was already, I thought this, what item are we on? Which number?
Item 4, eligibility. Yeah, treasurer eligibility requirements.
This is
Councilor McGrath Smith.
This is another one of the orders that got sent back as part of the package that last time we ordered complied with because we had already approved these in the new job descriptions that we had approved.
Okay.
But,
Councilor Vacan.
thank you. So all of the job descriptions that I can recall, and I mean, we do have a lot of documents that have been given to us now, include treasurer, collector combined.
Okay.
This order is to have the qualifications for the treasurer as voted. Because we have no other document.
So I don't
Yes,
think we've
that's
saw
different. That's different than treasurer collector. You're correct.
there. So at our last meeting, we requested the job description for treasurer so that we could have a working document.
Oh, okay. So Kelly.
motion to table?
Yeah, we can table for next time and have that in for the next meeting if
You
that's
may,
okay.
I have a treasurer job description, but this was prior to this.
Yeah, so just for the next meeting should be in 2 weeks. If not, check in with Jeff. But just,
Okay.
I'll put it on the next agenda, and then we'll just have it for
Perfect.
the next.
And we would need the proposed salary scale too.
Yep.
So the proposed salary scale and then the requirements, is the requirements you want what's written here? Is everybody in agreement?
Treasurer.
For treasurer, we had a conversation, I believe, before in the past about it. I can't recall right now, but I'll check in with Jeff and I'll see if he can let me know when it was specifically, so that way I could look at the video and I'll send you the information, or I'll let you know the timestamp at least.
It strikes me.
Okay.
Six really belongs with Ford.
All right. So I entertain
if I
him.
may.
Go ahead, Councilman
So-
Bacon.
Through the chair to Kelly, we had a very brief thing that talked about the qualifications of the treasurer, and we had a discussion in committee, and we amended it. And you should have that document, because then it was tabled.
Okay, I'll
It
look
was-
back.
It was a working document. And I have dug it out more than once, but I can find it again and send it to you if you need me to.
I'll look, and if I don't find it, can I email you?
Sure.
Okay.
So motion, or did someone make the motion?
Motion to table.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Councilor Bacon,
Yes.
Councilor Bartley, Councilor McGrath Smith,
Yes.
Councilor Jenny Rivera,
Yes.
Councilor Israel Rivera. Yes, that item is tabled.
I also wonder if we should similarly table 6, because hopefully that the salary range would also be coming with that job description. Right?
Yeah, right. So entertain a motion to take up 6 and coupled with, what was that one? 5? Or 4?
4.
Coupled with 4. There a second? No.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And this is to table.
Motion to table with item 4 for the next meeting.
There a second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So for the vote, we'll be voting on tabling item 6 with item 4 for the next meeting. We'll get the language, or at least the descriptions. Councilor Reagan,
Yes.
Councilor Bartley, Councilor McGrath Smith,
Yes.
Councilor Jenny Rivera,
Yes.
Councilor Israel Rivera. Yes. All right, that's 6 and 4.
Motion to take up item 5.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item 5 was filed by Councilor Murphy Romoletti. Order that the position of combined treasurer tax collector is created by ordinance and added to Schedule A, Grade 14.
So,
Go ahead, Councilor McGrath Smith.
if I'm not mistaken, this is very much an order that has already been dealt with. And also, we might just want to give leave to withdraw, because we actually, in our previous ordinance meeting, voted to, did we keep it at grade 14?
No, we
Oh, it
changed
was-
it to 13.
Yeah, I thought that we
It's in
had,
the Modernization
Yes.
Act.
yep, so we already changed that here in this body to 13, and it's already in this,
So the motion is leave to withdraw?
Or complied.
or complied
Is what
with,
we did
yeah.
on the other one.
Okay, sure.
So we're saying complied with from,
Yeah,
Okay.
so motion that's item's been complied with.
Second.
all in favor?
Okay.
Aye.
Roll call vote. Councilor Bacon,
Yes.
Bartley,
Yes.
McGrath Smith,
Yes.
Councilor Rivera,
Yes.
and Councilor Israel Rivera. Yes.
Motion to take up item 7. And do we want to table it? Because I don't see any language behind
We
it.
should leave it on
Leave it
the
on
table. We
table.
have no
Okay.
language.
Leave it on table.
Oh, there's no language. Leave it on the table then. You hear
Well,
that?
we're waiting for a legal opinion.
That's what it was. Legal opinion. That's what it was.
Right.
Yep.
We don't have it.
Yep.
So I'll make a motion to take, oh wait, did we already do, we didn't do 12 and
No, we're at 11.
12 and 13?
12.
So if, I'd make a motion to
Do
take
we have
up
to vote on 7, no?
12 and 13
it's
as a
tabled.
package.
I'll second the
Second.
motion.
Okay, so 12,
They're both new
Yep.
handicap signs.
12 and 13, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
12 is ordered by Jenny Rivera, order handicap sign placed on 50 North Bridge Street for Nelson Vega. Item 13, Anderson Burgos, DPW install handicap sign for Yolanda Gonzalez at 50 Arthur Street. Where is my doc? Jeff, I got a lot of papers. Are those approved already or no?
Yes, 12 and 13 were both approved by disabilities. There was a little bit of working with the Disabilities Commission and the applicants to try and get some details clarified, and so all of that was able to happen, and the Disabilities Commission approved them. I've sought the measurements from DPW. They haven't gotten back to me yet on those, but they are pending.
Okay, so 12 and 13 are
Motion
approved?
to approve
Okay.
items 12 and 13 pending measurements from DPW.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call vote, Counselor Vacan?
Yes.
Counselor Bartley?
Yes.
Counselor Jenny Rivera?
Yes.
And Counselor Israel Rivera, yes, 4-0. 12 and 13 are approved.
Motion to take up item 14.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Item 14 is filed by McGrath Smith. Order that DPW remove the handicap sign at 71 Waldo Street. The sign is no longer needed.
Motion to approve the removal of the unneeded sign.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call vote, Counselor Vacan?
Yes.
Counselor Bartley?
Yes.
Counselor McGrath, no, Counselor Jenny Rivera?
Yes.
Counselor Israel Rivera? Yes, 4-0.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We don't need a roll call vote. Everyone have a good night.
Good night.